Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension on the 23rd of August 2025, and welcome to a super quick check-in of the Canadian Nightcrawler bin, because I just want to. I guess we're just kind of what we're doing. We're peeking on bins today. Last time I was in here I did a count. I layered this paper on top. I added a bunch of greens. Weeds from the garden, a whole bunch of shredded paper, and I just want to have a look-see, because that's kind of what, see, these dang composting worms are trying to take over. Breeding composting worms. That is a composting worm. This is a baby Canadian Nightcrawler. My goodness, man, these... Oh wait, don't leave the breeding composting worms. What's a cocoon? Where are we going to put the breeders? We'll go ahead and put them in bin number 4. Alright. I'm going to have to soon make a conscious effort to pick them out, because I don't want them in here. This, yeah, is a Canadian Nightcrawler baby. Okay. I don't see any of the adults poking their head out at us, wondering what the heck we're doing. I think I counted 65, was it? 64 or 65, but that does not include any babies. Oh, there's an adult on the surface. And the temperature in here today, we have cooled off outside, but we're still at about 72. So it's that 23 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's still warmer than they typically prefer. Let's see. He's not active, but he's big. I'd like to think it's healthy, but it doesn't really look very healthy. Here's a couple of worms. What do we think they are? That is a composting worm. I'm not taking it out because I'm 99% sure. Yeah, I'll wait till they get bigger and have a clitellum. There's another adult. I was just curious what things were looking like in here after I stirred everything up. Man, the composting worms have just exploded. Look at that big fat clitellum. Wow. They're happy. Somebody, I'd like to know, do you guys think I should leave the composting worms? Because out in the wild, the various worms all coexist with each other? Or does the fact that they break down faster, one, they're going to heat up the bin faster, and two, they might also outcompete for food, or just compete for food, period. And I don't know if letting them stay in here Especially, I don't know if that's a good thing for the Canadian Nightcrawlers, but I'd love to know. I'd love to know your guess, but also from people who have experience with Canadian Nightcrawlers, or just this is another red wiggler. I'd like to know if you have an educated guess as well as if you just have a guess. So yeah, that's the ultimate question. Do I allow the... See, they're another breeder. Yeah, they're gonna go and put them in number 2. That is the question. Do I allow the composting worms, as in red wigglers and European Nightcrawlers, most likely these are red wigglers, to exist in this bin? Or do I, and therefore coexist with the Canadian Nightcrawlers? Or are they creating competition? There's another adult, or Canadian Nightcrawler there. Another composting worm. Yeah, or are they creating unnecessary competition? Unwanted, undesired, let's say. Undesirable. Yeah, there's a couple adult. Well, the one that didn't look so good, and then a different. Yeah, so we've got more of the adults over here of the Canadian Nightcrawlers. Yeah, it kind of looks, that looks like a young one right there. See how small it is? They appear to be hanging out in this corner together. This is probably a baby Canadian Nightcrawler. Moves like a blue worm. The tail could be a blue worm, but it's so big, and no clitellum, I suspect it to be a Canadian Nightcrawler. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think. The composting worms in the Canadian Nightcrawler bin, to be or not to be? That is the question. That is the question. You could also answer with something like, you could leave some of them and just keep moving them out into... All right, I don't know when it stopped recording, but I was saying that, yeah, with winter coming, the Canadian Nightcrawlers will do better in the cool, but now that I have 6 large bins, because I upgraded the blue worms to an 18-gallon tote, I don't know that I'll be able to sustain feeding this many bins, because right now, with it being summer, I have access to more plant matter, food scraps, more people there's just more, I can get more food scraps in general. I could collect, sometimes I get food waste from family or friends, but basically I'm saying the composting, the red wigglers can very easily populate this bin very quickly, and I'm going to have to feed this bin more to make up for the composting versus just the Canadian Nightcrawlers, who are said to compost slower. And they raise the temperature, which you could say, oh, that's good in the winter, but remember the Canadian Nightcrawlers like 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so I don't know that leaving the composting worms in here is the way to go. But again, let me know. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.